You need the monitor. And the cord, probably. The monitor's right here. The cord is probably under your blanket. Well, I'm trying to think about all the things that everybody wants to get done today. And I'm trying to get my stuff done so that we can make sure and get y'all's stuff done. And so I'm getting a little bit anxious because I just need to start this. Okay, guys. So this is something a little bit unique. I don't generally walk people through a meditation. It's something that I feel like it's a beautiful process, but there's a part of me that always thought I'm not practiced enough to walk people through this process, when in all actuality, it's just my perfectionist. So this week for my women's group, we have been, or well, the week before, we were talking about our capacities. And through this process, through the months that we've been working together, we have been talking about adding certain things in, little simple things, tiny little things. And what's come up is that there's not a lot of space in our lives for new things to come up. And so we get stuck in these patterns and these just repeating the same thing over and over and again. And we're wondering why things aren't changing, but we keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. And so what we finally were talking about was, do we even have the capacities to process, integrate, and to experience all of the things that we want to experience? Sometimes we're so stuck in our past, or we're so driven by our future that this moment right now gets lost. And on the topic of capacity, we are, whether you look at it as I want to have the capacity to overflow, or my capacity is so full, I'm overflowing. Your overflow, what is it? Like when you're looking at capacity, is your overflow an overflow of stress, an overflow and a ripple of perfectionism, or is your overflow that of grace? And it oftentimes starts with just looking at how you are treating yourself. And it takes just looking at that. But also, what I want to do with you guys, especially these ladies, but those of you that are seeing this meditation outside of the context of the group, what we are going to be practicing today is recognizing the expansion of our capacity. So right now we're at a place where this is all we can have. And for some, the capacity might need, like the vessel might need to be emptied. And for others, we just might need to stretch the vessel and allow for our capacity to be greater, which is what we have been talking about over these last few weeks, is how can we increase our capacity? And whether that's stripping things away, whether that's strengthening, whether that's physically expanding ourselves, it's that balance between destruction and creation. And sometimes we're just trying to create. And if we just take that at a physiological level, like just creating, that's cancer. So health is this balance between destruction and creation. And we can look at that at a cellular level, but then we can also expand it out to systems, not just the systems of the body, but the systems that are intertwining in the family, in the work life, in our communities, in our society, in our states, in our countries. We can see the dynamic between creation and destruction. And what happens is we judge creation and we judge destruction specifically. And so, what we're going to do is we're just going to practice taking the seat of the observer, taking a bird's eye view of what, of ourselves ultimately. So, what we're going to practice is first, we are going to find a comfortable seat, whether that's in a chair or on a bench, probably not something soft like a couch, but maybe like a semi soft chair if you have really bad sit bone pain, or something that, if this is uncomfortable for you, maybe something that you can gently rest your body against, because maybe you don't have the capacity to sit through this. And it could be that you do need to lay down. As we're stepping forward, what I want you to recognize is that I want you to visualize water, you being in water, because one of the things that we are lacking is flow. And so when you get to a space where maybe it feels locked up in your body, you can maybe allow a little bit of flow to move through that. Maybe you can allow yourself to rest and buckle, or maybe you can allow yourself to move, but just going above it and recognizing like you don't have to be perfect in the perfect position. If your core needs to rest, it can rest, but just allowing that flow to move through you. So we'll start with recognizing our seat, our tailbone, sit bone, pubic bone. We're going to be looking right in between the sit bone, or the tailbone, coccyx, and your pubic bone. And we're going to be looking to find a place where that's directly over the earth. And then, but if you can't get that, it's perfectly fine. We just generally tend to sit back on our tailbones. And so if you need to feel your tailbone really quickly and find your tailbone, and if you need to feel your pubic bone and find your pubic bone, that's fine. Then we are going to be practicing breathing, just getting our breath going and allowing it to almost find its own metronome of pace. Okay. It's going to be finding its own metronome. So I want to talk you through Ujjayi breath, which is a very warming breath. It's almost like you're fogging a mirror. And we're going to make that constriction of the throat on the inhale and the exhale. So you're inhaling with that sound. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a, and then you're exhaling with a, but with your mouth closed. That's warming up all of these muscles. Then we are going to do a balancing of the different sides. A balancing of the nadis is what it's called in yoga. But basically what we're doing is we're balancing out the different sides of the nervous system, the parasympathetic and the sympathetic, the right versus the left. We're just creating a little bit more balance within the body. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but we are just looking for more balance. And then we will, if we feel called to do this, because my ladies we're working into a stage 4 rhythm. And so we're going to do a stage 4 breathing exercise that is very energy building. And as you're going, you might find a place that just feels like you just feel this like string pulling to that location. And you might not, and the stage 4 might not feel right for you right now. You might just stay in the nadi breathing, which let me show you that really quick. So you're going to take your right hand, you're going to take your right thumb and place it over your right nostril. And then you're going to use your middle finger when it comes time to block your left. So you're going to breathe in through the left nostril. You'll pause at the top, cover the left nostril, and blow out through the right. Pause at the bottom, and then breathe in through the right. Pause at the top, and breathe out through the left. I'm going to go one more time just so you have it. Breathe in through the left. Pause at the top, cover the left, breathe out through the right. Pause at the bottom, breathe in through the right. Pause at the top, breathe out through the left. And you will always want to end with breathing out on the left. And then you can sit and observe what you experience. And then we'll probably go another round. And then we'll move into stage 4 breathing, which is that exact same movement. We're just going to go a lot faster, letting those breaths without the pause, just, and you will get lost, but I want you to do it until you feel like you're about to explode. Like, oh my gosh, I'm about to explode. I can't take another one. Like, you notice like you're not breathing in correctly anymore. You're building up. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't take this anymore. And then you can either yell or you can pretend to yell, because sometimes I'm not comfortable enough to yell. I get to thinking like, oh my gosh, am I going to wake up the neighbors? What are my kids going to think? So even if you just like actually thinking about letting the sound, like letting that tighten in your throat, the sounds, like letting it vibrate in your throat will really create. And what you're yelling is enough of this, enough of this, enough of this perfection, enough of this doing everything right, enough of this control. I take my body back. I take my mind back, whatever it might be. We're just saying enough of this, and we're letting enough energy flow through us to just move that through. And then we'll do that one more time. Enough of this. We'll build up the energy. Enough of this. I take my power back, whatever it is that you need to say. I take my mind back. I take my family back. And then we'll come to a place where your hands will rest in your lap, and you'll allow your breath to just take over. Then we will have the sound, or we will be repeating a mantra. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Okay? And that's going to keep you, we're going to get lost, and you might get lost, and that's okay, but I want that mantra in your head so that you can come back. If your thoughts start to take you away, that little mantra will be playing in the back of your head to bring you back, okay, to bring you back right now. And as you're doing this, I want you to just take the seat of the observer, watching yourself. So when your mind gets chaotic, just watching it and recognizing, oh, I heard myself. And then I was able to come back to right now, okay? Because I'm letting you know, I am not perfect at this at all. Also giving yourself grace to lay down if you need to lay down, to move if you need to move, but just trying not to get distracted by movement, and trying not to get distracted by your mind, but recognizing if it happens, it's okay. Just bring yourself back to the posture, bring yourself back to the mantra, bring yourself back to your breath, whatever that might be for you, wherever you're at. Don't judge yourself. That's the biggest thing, okay? So we're going to begin. You can begin with your eyes open or closed, whichever you feel called to do. Just beginning by recognizing and meeting yourself where you're at. Noticing where your breath is right now. What's it doing? Where does it want to go? Just noticing the inhales and the exhales. And slowly begin to just notice your sit bones if you're sitting. Notice your sit bones. Notice your tailbone. Maybe it's moving back and forth between the two. That's fine. Maybe it's moving into the left sit bone and the right sit bone, back and forth. Notice what they feel like. They might feel the same. They might feel different. Don't judge it. Just trust through this process that those maybe aches, maybe the feeling of it being different, maybe the feeling of doing it right, just trust that we're going to walk through and it's going to be okay. Moving back and forth, noticing where your tailbone is versus where your pubic bone is. And just trying to recognize and become aware of these spaces without judgment so that you can maybe find a place of center. As you're beginning to find and recognize what's going on in your body, no matter how you're sitting, whether you're sitting crisscross, whether you're sitting on your knees, whether you're sitting in a chair, just beginning to recognize your baseline and not judging where your baseline is. Maybe breathing out through the mouth as if you're trying to fog a mirror. Letting out some of that heat, maybe that's building too much. And then slowly, as you're connecting to that center space, maybe start to take on your ujjayi breath as well. As you are allowing your ujjayi breath to move through your body, notice how I'm saying allowing. Maybe notice if you're forcing it. That's okay. And noticing if you found some stillness in your pelvis, if you found a stillness, a place where it might not be perfect, but it's there and you're like, yes, I can do this just for a little bit. Maybe you notice a gentle curve in your lower back. Notice how that impacts your sit bones, that space of connection to the earth, that center point. Just a gentle curve. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it makes you lean back a little bit more. Just be okay with coming back to that center point if you decide, if your body starts to ache and you start to get lost. Maybe you find some opening in the back of your heart. Shoulders maybe gentle, just fall away from your ears. Noticing what's happening, not judging. Maybe just allowing the back of your neck to have some space, to have some movement. The back of your skull maybe just finds a lightness. And then feeling the top of your skull, feeling the top of your head, inside the bone, the space in the bone. I want you to think of like a nice layer of helium, just allowing you to float just a little bit. And when you do that, does that take that pressure off of that perfection of your sit bone? Again, remembering you're in water, so that helium is letting you float. Noticing where you might feel bound, you might feel stuck. And then allowing your breath, your ujjayi breath, come back to it. Noticing any spaces where it feels so tight, not judging it. We're going to breathe into it, don't worry. We're here and we're not trying to fix anything. We're not even trying to be perfectly balanced. We're just trying to meet ourselves where we're at. You can take your right thumb and cover your right nostril. It's nice and slow. Begin to breathe in through the left nostril. Pause at the top and exhale through the right. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through the right. Pause at the top and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Pause at the top. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Pause at the top. Exhale through the left. Slowly begin to find your own pace, your own rhythm. We will meet together One more round. Exhaling on the left side. Pausing to observe. Observe balance. Observe tightness. Just without judgment. We're going to go one more round. Maybe this round, noticing, really focusing on that helium floating you up through this round. And we begin again. Left or right thumb covers the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Meeting together on your next exhale through the left. Taking the time to observe how you feel, observing your body. Observing your thoughts, reminding yourself to come back to your breath. Now, as you're observing, I want you to notice if you feel a place of tightness. While you're breathing this Ujjayi breath, it feels like there's a place that's just tight. Maybe it's achy, bound. Maybe it feels like a black hole. Not judging it, not trying to fix it. I'm going to take on the stage 4 breathing, which is what we just did, only much, much faster. I am going to move my microphone down because this does get loud. So remembering as you are doing this breathing, we're moving as fast as we can. We're breathing in and out as fast as we can till we can't take it anymore. Hold it, hold it, hold it a little bit longer, go a little bit longer. And then when you are about to explode, you can yell, you can mouth, you can think, enough of this. I take my whatever it is back. Maybe it's my thoughts. Maybe it's my body. I'm going to connect the microphone just a little bit lower. And we can begin again, covering the right side and breathing nice and fast. enough of this. Enough of this. Enough of this. We're going to go again almost immediately after, really breathing into that tight space. Allow that breath to move into that tight space. In through one side, out through one side, back and forth. Here we go. Faster. Yes. Enough. Enough of this. Coming back to your ujjayi. Observing that energy moving through you. Notice your posture, how it's changed. Maybe you slowly start to come up. Find those sit bones again. Just slowly, just allowing that helium to float you back up. Coming back to ujjayi breath, you might be noticing that bubbled up a lot of thoughts. That's okay. Just coming back to your ujjayi breath. Pushing forward, taking the seat of the observer, recognizing that those thoughts are there and not letting them distract you or get you bogged down from a little bit of stillness, from getting lost, from something new occurring. Just begin to come back to your breath so that we can begin to develop a layer of separation between those thoughts and reality. That thought is not me. That thought is not right now. This breath is right now. Experiencing the energy that's flowing through you. And slowly with me, just begin to quote, chant, Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. And maybe the tune comes into your mind. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the water wherever you would call me. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Spirit lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. You begin to get quieter. Allowing allowing that mantra to move through your mind, and you take one layer above. Observe yourself saying the mantra, singing the mantra, whatever it might be. And you get lost in a thought, just singing the mantra. Begin to hear the mantra again. Notice yourself. Noticing yourself. Coming back into that layer of the mind that can get lost so easily. Sometimes we just need a mantra to keep us there. Coming back to it without judgment if you never left that layer. So then you notice yourself breathing. Notice what happens when you notice yourself breathing. Maybe you never got past this layer, and that's okay as well. Begin to notice your body, your hands, your fingers, your toes, core, chest, your heart, your neck. Coming back into your body. Maybe you never left your body, and that's okay. Just beginning to find little wiggles, little stretches. Maybe your fingers start to move, rolling out your wrists, maybe moving your neck. Not trying to fix anything, just coming back. Coming back into your body. If you have glasses on, just take those off really quick. Take your hands and rub them together. Build up heat in your hands. Feel that heat in your hands. And place your hands over your eyes gently. If you have any places of tightness, rub your hands together again. Place your hands on that place of tightness and stiffness without judgment, without trying to fix it. Just continue the process for a moment. Maybe as you touch the spaces, they move. Begin to massage out your legs, getting blood flow back into those areas. Maybe you fell asleep in this process and you're like, yes, I got the best sleep ever. That's okay as well. Meditation will always give you what you need most. I'm also going to have us clear a lymphatic space. So right where your hip crease is, just give that a little massage. Massaging in that crease, allowing for some lymphatic to flow. Maybe you rub your tummy, your core, your abs, feeling your ribs, just your hands, just allowing them to explore, check in with different places. Maybe come to right below where your ribs meet and give that area a little rub so we can get some lymphatic flow moving. Maybe you come to your collarbones, cross your hands, and come right behind your collarbones and give that space a little bit of a rub. Again, clearing out some of that lymphatic that we just released, maybe through the movement of breath, through our thoughts, the movement of our thoughts. And right the corner of your jaw, the angle of your jaw, just start to rub along your jaw, up underneath your jaw, just rubbing. Maybe just roll your ears out, allowing that lymphatic to move. Letting a big breath come in. Opening your mouth and sighing it out. Welcome back to the room. Welcome back to the space. The slowness that you feel now, the stillness. Right? Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. A powerful thing. And yet we are so busy. We are so at capacity that our overflow. God, sometimes it's not the things that we want to overflow, but help us not to judge ourselves. Help us to be still and allow you to empty. Allow us to recognize where we aren't emptying when it comes to our thoughts, or we never have a moment of silence within our own minds, where we judge ourselves at each layer so we can't get to the next layer because there's so much judgment at layer one. Allow those that are under the sound of my voice to simply just recognize and be still every now and then, just to come back to process, to meet themselves where they're at, to meet you where you are at, the joining within this temple. The kingdom of heaven is within you, and to find that heaven, go within and recognizing where we don't let ourselves be still. We don't let our minds be still. We don't let our hearts be still. We don't let our bodies be still. We get distracted by the ripples, the movement of life. Allow us to just take some time, even if it's just to practice our breath, just to be still for just some moments without trying to fix anything. And recognizing that when we can't be still and the ripples and the waves come, that's okay as well. If we are showing up to meet you, to be still, to observe, to process, whatever it looks like for all of the different individuals that are meeting here, I will be done. Amen. You can spend some time processing. Take your time pulling yourself out of this space. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.